This is Breakfast Daily, and today we are repping Akan. You know, we're still in the Heritage Month. You know, yana yetina ejemwa sika ekasa. Yedi sika tom prada. Yeni sika adiacheso. Yenono asante kotoko wukuma pema apembeba. Now, I also have here with me some of my colleagues, you know, who are ably representing the Akan tradition. I have Eno Safu with me, so she doesn't only cast news when it comes to tradition. Eno ably represents. Mami, Ray. Sa. Aye. Yeah, that is Eno Safu. I also have here with me my one and only Ohine Bapapebi, Adra Sapon. Adra Tututatai. Sa. Jones. Right, so this is how we do it, and you can see the way they are beautifully adorned in rich Akan jewelry. Now, all these things have meanings, and we have someone who specializes in these things and is going to take us through some of the jewelry that you see as well, their significance, what exactly they mean, and why you need to know about them. My name is Frima. Right, so right. So to help us do this conversation, I have here with me Shalovan Schroeder. He's National President, Federation of Ghana Goldsmith and Jewelry Associations. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you.
Right. So let's just go back to, you know, the palace and our tradition. Has it always been a situation where anybody at all can just pick jewelry, you know, and dress like how I am? Or in times past, it was just a preserve for royals?
Actually, in the time past, was a preserve for the royals.
Okay.
Until when the Portuguese and the Danish came in, they introduced what they call the contemporary jewelry.
Okay.
And that makes it open for everyone to wear jewelry. But precisely, you can wear any other jewels, not gold.
Okay.
It can be in beads, any other form. But when you talk about gold jewelry, it is preserved only for the royals. Okay. Which you have a very long historical background, which I can make it brief.
Please go ahead. Yes.
Well, our custom and tradition, when you want to go back to the history, I have one head mask. Okay. And that head mask was a portrait of a king. In those times, our jewel or our gold, we do it in the form of to adore our king and our queens. So we normally don't do is a jewel that we wear on our body. Okay. But it was in the form of a mask, in the form of an idol, in the form of etc. etc. Okay. And the more you have those things in, as a king, that show your wealth. Okay. And once upon a time, there was one king, I don't want to mention, go back to history, who make a sculpture of his image. Okay. And there was another king who feels superior. And he said, look, why should this man make a sculpture of his image? Let him bring that sculpture to me. It was gold. Okay. Because he want peace, he languaged the whole thing. And he let another goldsmith did another which is bigger than which was taken from him. Okay. And when that superior king also heard of that news, he ordered that, look, go and bring me that one. You see, that time, to have a craftsman or goldsmith, it is not easy. Yeah. And the goldsmith or the jewelry industry is a preserve of only a family line or lineage. So when that king ordered that dress might be, or that sculpture might be bring back to him, this king said, no. You can't be disgracing me. If it is poor, I'm ready for it. Okay. But when you want to go back to history, The Ashantis are very rich. They have the gold.
Yeah.
But what they do with their gold is they normally don't wear it as a necklace and things. But when they are going out like a fascia or whatever it is, they spear the gold on their skin.
Okay.
The gold dust, they put it on their skin. Like the way you dress like this, no. At Ashanti time, you have to put the whole gold on your skin to show how rich you are.
Yeah.
But then, Ashantis, naturally, they were not wearing jewels. Until that incident take place, and the king of Ashanti realized, look, if somebody has to be fabricating this type of jewelry for people, we are rich.
Yeah. Can't
we import or get this goldsmith and jewelry to produce this type of jewelry for us? And to hear that the Ashantis were able to get a good craftsman of the goldsmiths by then to produce this, the Ashanti kings, their regalias and all stuff and things.
Now you also realize that, you know, sometimes when kings sit in state, you know, they have the headband that comes with some specific symbols on them. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, you see, the Gandangbe, they have what they call Oduku. Oduku is a form of a headgear that they spotted this with gold jewels and things. And if all these gold jewels...
Is it something like we have on the screen?
Yes, something like what we have on the screen. Yes. And all these gold jewels, they have symbols and patterns of certain animals, beasts, and things.
So what do these mean?
Yes, it shows their cultural background and their heritage and their strength.
Okay.
Like when you look at the Adinkra symbols, like Sankofa and all those things, all have a meaning. So those times when they put this headgear, they put this type of jewelry that on the headgear to signify what they are and what they mean.
We also wear rings, you know, to also symbolize something.
Yes.
What do we wear on our fingers?
Yes, you see, like the one you see another picture, there was a king, you see the king wears some rings and things which show like something like...
so we have that?
Yes, like porcupine.
Yeah, like there's some spikes.
Yes,
you know?
some things. And this shows that you can't attack them. You know, the Kopikan, how they call it, Kotoko. Yeah, the Kotoko.
Kotoko.
Yes, it's very strong animal and those sorts of things. So any ring that they wear have a significance.
But others also have like tortoise. They have crocodile. What do they mean?
Yes, you see, when they show the tortoise, it have a meaning that tortoise is very slow, but it's always the winner.
Okay.
You see, so all tribes have their meaning to whatever they do. Like the Sankofa have a meaning. And in fact, when you look at this, our Adinkra symbols all show, like what you wear, your necklace.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Sankofa.
This is Sankofa.
Yes. Yes. And I have Jinyame there.
Yes, Jinyame. You see, all have a meaning. So when you see all these symbols, there's a meaning to it.
Can we have a royal who does not adorn himself or herself with jewelry?
Well, you see, as I was saying, during those times, it was preserved for only the royals who can, especially when it comes to gold.
Yeah.
Now, even the beasts is sometimes there are some who are reserved for the rich people who can buy those beasts. But in the obsession of this, our colonial master coming down to our shore, the Portuguese, the Danish and things, then they brought this type of contemporary jewelry. And then our goldsmiths decided to minimize the type of jewelry that way, because those times the jewels that our people produce, they are so big enough. Very big enough. Some say it's bigger than your head. You see?
Yeah.
But when the white people came in, you realized that with their contemporary jewelry, we duplicate them and we minimize it to what we are seeing today.
Right, so we have royals here with us, you know. Adrasapon AJ Akwaku Sapon is a true royal, you know. She comes from Ahimfie, Oyo Heneba.
Okay.
Adra, when your father sits in state, you know, describe to us what role jewelry plays.
Well, to him, it depends on the occasion. My father usually is not very ostentatious about jewelry. He only wears it as and when it's needed. In his view, it's not always that jewelry needs to be a big face. Yeah. Sometimes it's the kente that speaks volumes to that effect. But he likes to deck out depending on the occasion. It's different for a funeral, it's different for a deba or akwesidai or something of that sort.
So when is akwesidai? I mean, I know that is when chiefs will appear in all their pomp and pageantry.
Yes.
How does he appear?
So I think usually it depends on where. So if he's say going to Mencha or going to Mass, it's very. One thing I've noticed is that you can't match with Dotunfo. You have to ensure that whatever kente you're wearing does not overshadow him in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Again, jewelry plays a huge role in terms of the rings. It has significance. So he is proudly Adriana, so he likes to represent that in whatever that he does. His headgear, his necklace on his neck, like things like that represent. But I do realize that it takes a long time sometimes for them to prep for it. The jewelry is very heavy because largely gold, some of them gold plated, and it's very heavy and very significant when he goes out and he decks all out and he goes in his full regalia. And that is something I've always admired whenever he sits in state.
But is there a way, you know, because previously, I mean, long ago, you would know that these are princesses coming in and all, but modernization, civilization has changed that a little bit. But when you go back home, do you have to dress in a certain way and wear certain jewelry?
Absolutely. Depending on the occasion. So for a deba that I'm sitting in state, I need to represent, be all decked out either in kente or in some form of African print. Jewelry is always a must because you need to be colorful to a large extent
and show well,
yes, largely and show that truly represents the palace, and then you're a daughter of a king, and then it should show in that particular outfit. But in everyday wear, I think modernity has changed how a lot of royals or people that are from the royal lineage act or behave in general public. But when it comes down to events, yes, you have to deck out.
Awesome. Now today you looking the part, girl.
I'm not disappointing.
Of course. Where are you from in Ashanti?
I'm from Asafari.
Okay, right. So how do you guys do jewelry in where you come from?
Well, it's similar to what AJ was saying. Our chief is Asakore Hine, and when he's going to the palace, yes, okay, Asakore, yes. So when he's going to the palace, you know, decked out in all his royal regalia, his rings. I think the ring symbolizes where they're from. So we are Oyoko. We also fall under Asantehene. So his ring is normally either a lion or the porcupine, something to symbolize that
No, but when you have to go for traditional events, maybe a festival, anything like that, how do you use jewelry, you know, to announce your presence?
Well, subtly, because you don't want to overshadow the ahima and the ahimfo. Yes, so normally subtle jewelry, subtle makeup, and you go and you make sure that, you know, you represent properly.
So how would you be able to tell, you know, so when there's a deba, when you have people coming from different places, how do you tell this person is here looking at their jewelry?
Well, as they rightly said, if your Tumfo is coming to a Durbar, you're the subject, though you are a sub-king, but there might be a type of jewelry that you must wear. The jewelry speak a lot. As I've said, the historical background of this jewelry. You might wear a jewelry which will signify that you are still under Otumfo. Not to wear a jewelry which can show your wealth and your power. But if there's a Durbar or whatever a fashion, and it is within your
area and your peers.
Your peers.
Yes.
Then you can show off whatever you are. See, so it shows that jewelry have a rare significance because there fought many wars in the ancient Ghana in regard to jewelry.
Now, I also know that, you know, certain families preserve jewelry as heirloom, you know, to families. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, see, those who realize that jewelry, there was one queen, actually, she's from the Fanti area, but she was ruling at this Akwapi area. And she had a lot of jewelry. I think that woman, all her investment was on jewelry. And if there's an occasion, the princesses and the royal household, she have to use all her jewels to dress them to show how rich that family or that royal they are. So that is how it has been. But you see, when you come to the contemporary jewelry or the modern type of jewelry, now it seems we are lost in our track when it comes to heritage. And I'm happy City TV has taken this opportunity upon themselves to educate the Ghanaians, the significance of this our heritage. Now, we have some kind of jewelry like chichi, rose, botry, agushi, ayibibri, double bar, kofodwa flower, and obrat is ashishwe. These are some of the jewels which.
So with these ones that you mentioned, are they necklaces? Are they rings? What exactly are they?
They are necklaces.
Okay.
They are necklaces.
So the pendants.
The in fact,
depict these.
It is not only the pendants, but the whole thing of form. Like the yibibri, all those things, kofova flower, rose, chichi, and all those things. You see, but looking at this contemporary jewelry that we are talking today, it makes us as if we are forgetting all this our roots. Well, actually, those rings or those jewels look a little bit bigger. But with the session of these Europeans bringing their culture of their jewelry and things, our young ladies, they prefer to wear small earrings, small chain, tiny chain, and with small pendant and things. So we are just losing track and forgetting those things. And see, there's one thing which is very dangerous here. The goldsmith or the craftsmen who normally produce this type of jewelry, they are fading out. I think after 3-4 years ago, we have about 7 of them existing. Now, I can say we have about 3 or 4.
So how do we bring them back?
Yeah, see, the problem is not bringing them back, but preserving that particular, our tradition or our jewelry. Now, I have spoken with Asanska Jewelry Arts College that let's see how best we can bring back and preserve those our traditional jewelry. Now, if it is not done, and I'm telling you, the next 10-15 years, we have nothing to show as a Ghanaians. We are losing track. So we are speaking to him, and Asanska Jewelry College is prepared to assist us to see how best we can bring back those our line of production, our jewelry.
I so much agree with you, you know, because this is the only way we can preserve and also showcase who we are as a people. Mr. Schroeder, thank you very much. This is all time will permit
But let me say one thing before you end up.
In 10 seconds.
Yes. There's going to be a jewelry art show. Under bridge. But we are going to exhibit those lost Ghanaian. We are going to exhibit it.
All right. Okay. That details we have, and so we'll still talk about it. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheridan, for coming. Nana Madishe, Adrasapo, thank you very much. Inusapo, thank you very much. Audition. David Sechi, Kweku Sechi. Yes. Into my frau. Right. So, maybe I can see your face properly. Yeah, maybe you can sit somewhere here. No, what's okay, Captain Packer? It's for the eating. Right. So this is where we bow out. It's been a beautiful and a very colorful day as well. And so now you know that you can dress up for any occasion, but please make sure that you rep in terms of jewelry where you are coming from. This is the only way that we can tell exactly who we are and where we are coming from. This has been Breakfast Daily on City TV.